to study or learn any skill effectively. Learning to learn effectively is one of the most important adult skills you need. It will save you so much stress and time. To survive under capitalism, you need a lot of skills. So this video will help you get your life back on track. I will also be sharing science-backed learning techniques and some unique tips and tricks to deal with procrastination that has worked for me, because you know how I always do an anti-capitalist or a materialist spin to things. Not everyone will be able to learn effectively, and that's okay. Your ability to learn effectively depends on so many factors like your class background, disability, the socio-economic political landscape. If you're in an unsafe environment or are busy trying to make ends meet, you simply won't be able to focus on much other than your survival. So please don't beat yourself up if you can't study as well as others. I also want to say there is no one size fits all. You know your body best. If something doesn't work for you, don't do it. Never push or overexert yourself. There is no shame in not being able to do any of these study techniques. Okay, let's get started. Phase 1, preparation phase. This part involves all of the mundane but often overlooked prep work to make your study session effortless. It involves getting your sleep hygiene in order, minimizing phone use, turning the lights off, having a wind down routine, not eating or doing work close to the bedtime. If you prefer having a regular sleeping schedule, set a bedtime and a waking up time and stick to it. Eating habits, so making sure you eat enough. Apparently blueberries, omega-3, nuts and protein are recommended for health benefits. Clear environment, clear mind, so make sure your study space is clean. The importance of clean air, high CO2 levels, dust, harmful airborne pathogens are detrimental to your health and concentration. So please ventilate, use windows, open the windows, use air purifiers, wear a fit tested mask so you don't get sick. And lastly, minimize taps, put away your phone and focus on one single task at a time. Plan, clear out and schedule what tasks or goals you'd like to work on a daily, yearly or monthly, weekly basis. Design your environment. Make it easier to start studying or work, for example by putting your study books near you. Ground yourself in emotional regulation. If there is something on your mind that's stressing you out, you won't be able to learn effectively. So I like to ground myself. You can do this by meditating, going on a walk, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. My favorite way to do this is through journaling. Mindset prep. Hustle culture often makes us overly focused on working long hours, reaching goals, productivity, and progress. This can actually have detrimental effects to both our health and learning, as we'll see in the next section. So tackling capitalist hustle culture ideals and reminding ourselves that learning effectively involves patience, resting often, enjoying the process, including both the highs and the lows, are just as important than hustling to achieve an arbitrary metric of capitalist success. The aim of all of this preparation is to set yourself up for success by making learning a repeated, systematic process. This is backed up by science, which we'll get into the next section. Phase 2, learning how to learn. The not so very effective methods are rereading, highlighting, and cramming information. So what actually is effective? 1. Intense spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is just repetition of info over time. Spaced repetition can be summed up by learning scientists recommending 5 hours over 2 weeks is better than the same 5 hours all at once. In other words, it is best to study in short study sessions spaced out. The intense part is making these short spaced out study sessions intense by various methods like creating flashcards, pretending you're a teacher, and retrieving info from memory to give a lecture, making questions, quizzes, diagrams, and most importantly, you learn best by praxis. To learn effectively, you need to put theory into praxis. You can read all the books about how to ride a bike, but if you will never know or get at it until you can actually ride a bike. This can look like getting work experience, doing practicals, experiments. Rest often. Breaks are needed to help your brain consolidate new information, so don't forget to rest and take breaks. Fundamental building blocks. Practically every topic, subject, skill, or even the seemingly most complex disciplines is based around only one or a few core basic principles or ideas. For example, Marxism is based on dialectical materialist analysis. The essence of Marxism is concrete analysis to a concrete solution. Your task is to find these core building blocks and repeatedly refer back to these core principles. It will make your life so much easier. Phase 2. Motivation tips and beating procrastination. Just do it for 30 seconds. Often the most difficult part of a task is dreading to start it. Once you do it for 30 seconds, often you realize it's not so bad. Dopamine boost. Celebrating your progress often, no matter how small. You can even give yourself rewards or visualize yourself getting points, similar to how likes operate on social media. You can also log in and join the Listeners Cake Cafe. Set a timer for the time you blocked out to study or work. It will reinforce an urgency to get you to start a task. Reminding yourself of future goals is often not enough. Instead, thinking of a problem and thinking how much it sucks is a much better motivation, so you can try strategizing to solve it. Reminding yourself of the long-term benefits is better than the short-term suffering. Often you're not going to want to do a lot of things, so reminding yourself constantly, this sucks, but I'm doing this because it's going to benefit me in the long term. Take things in baby steps. Replacing distracting activities with other engaging activities. If you find yourself being distracted by your phone, try finding another activity to distract you from the activity, like reading a book. Figuring out if there is a deeper problem to a motivation. Sometimes, no matter what, you still can't beat the motivation. Perhaps it's depression or a health issue. Whatever it is, there's no shame in taking a break or asking for help. Watch or read motivating speeches by people who inspire you. Start with the activity you like doing, or what's the subtask I hate the least, and start doing it. Create an organized to-do list or a step-by-step process if you're feeling overwhelmed. Other learning tips include join a virtual study groups, find an accountability study buddy, switch environments, listen to music, the Pomodoro timer, mnemonics like acronyms and acrostics, linking new information to what you already know. So asking yourself, how does this info relate to what I already know? Linking new information to real-world problems. How will this help solve problems in the real world? Visualization techniques like the memory palace. Chunking, breaking down info into smaller topics. Write your notes by hand and organizing your notes into subheadings, and use short sentences, images, and easy to understand language. Phase 4, evaluation stage. Weekly or monthly study plans are not enough to be consistent and improve. Make sure you set a timer to do a study. Make sure you set a time to do a study evaluation tracker. You can use self-reflection questions or set metrics to measure and track your process. And that's it. I hope you can take your task now is to take one or two things or many things from this video and apply it to your real life. Happy studying or work.